Good morning, hockey fans. Hello, this is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victoria's Hockey Company, and the Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, your living room, your car, your iPad, your phone, wherever you happen to be watching this morning. Hopefully you're not watching the video while trying to drive, just listening to us. I'm a little bushy tail this morning. We are actually doing a live show. Today is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Game from last night, there was only one. Maine was beaten 2-1 by the Generals in the New England Sports Village, losing their fifth straight game after winning a pile of games in a row. Now they're losing games. Fantastic job. Now both teams are tied for third place in the division. But that's not today's topic. Today's Thursday. Wednesday. What day is today? Wednesday. So it's the Midwest Division. You actually heard Tommy speak for the first time in 6 months. How do you feel?
I've spoken here before.
You have spoken before. While Wisconsin and Minnesota have secured their playoff dance tickets, Chippewa, Kenai River, Fairbanks, and Anchorage still have an eye on the division's last two berths. Yes, Rob Profit is back on the Ice Dog bench after dismissing National Hockey League veteran coach Dave Allison. That change could cause an earthquake within the Midwest Division, and we'll get into that in a second. Gotta be happy to see Profit back on the bench. He hasn't been there since Josh Hauge took his job. A number of years back, he assumed the general manager role. Every time I see Rob, I kind of poke him a little bit about getting back on the bench. Well, I've been poking that all year long, saying that Dave Allison really wasn't the man for the job. People in Fairbanks initially started defending Allison and eventually started thinking my way. Rob eventually came around as well. Last two games of the season for Fairbanks should be interesting. Wisconsin Wendigo, 36-17, 1-2 are leading the race. 75 points currently, 4 points in front of the Minnesota Wilderness. Blake Halita's Wendigo are rolling like a Kenworth, running downhill with a load of Wisconsin cheese. The home sweep of Springfield was expected, and this week's roadie to Minnesota to face the Wilderness will look more like a chess match. Can the Wendigo hold on to first place? That will be the question this weekend in Clove K. Speaking of the Minnesota Wilderness, they are 32-17, 3-4, 71 points. Solid 7 points ahead of Chippewa. Brett Skinner and the Wilderness got rocked by the Jets in Janesville before rebounding with a solid 3-0 shutout win on Saturday. Now things are about to get really serious when the Wendigo visit Northwoods Credit Union Arena this weekend. Can the Wilderness climb up to first place? They certainly can make it interesting. A sweep of the Wendigo would put them right there. I don't really see that happening. Brett Skinner's a hell of a hockey coach. But so is Blake Halita. What he did with that team this year is a very, very impressive. And we'll probably see these two teams battling it out potentially in the playoffs as well. We'll see who's in third and fourth place. But it's going to be very interesting. This weekend's games can certainly be a division championship preview. But it would also determine home ice advantage throughout the first two rounds of the playoffs. So if the Wilderness can climb up and above Wisconsin, that would be epic for the Wilderness. They have a new owner there, so we'll see what happens. Chippewa Steel are 30-22, 1-3, 64 points, currently in third place. K-Simon Young and the Steel took 2 out of 3 games at Anchorage and are in complete control of their own playoff destiny. There could be a big problem for the Steel this weekend when they visit the Ice Dogs at the Big Dipper Ice Arena in Fairbanks. Kenai River Brown Bears, 30-23, 2-1, 63 points. Tell me, did the clock strike midnight on Taylor Shaw's Brown Bears? After taking 5 straight games from the Ice Dogs, Kenai River looked a bit flat in Saturday's loss at Fairbanks. The last 4 games of the season are all against the Wilderness, starting this weekend in Anchorage. Let's break out the popcorn for that 4-game series. It could say a lot about playoff positioning, that's for darn sure. Fairbanks Ice Dogs. Yes, Dave Allison has left the building and should be back where he belongs. Fort St. Francis, Ontario, Canada. Stay there. Don't come back out again. Go back to the SIJHL. That's probably the level of play you never should have left in the first place. Rob Profit takes his job back. Frankly, he should have been there the whole season, right? And there's still a chance, remote as it is, the Ice Dogs will get into the playoffs. Forget everything about the mess that's been this 2022-23 season. Things are about to get really silly. Look for the Ice Dogs to sweep Chippewa at home this weekend, ending the season with 65 points. That would put Fairbanks ahead of currently third place Chippewa. The Steel then finished their season the following weekend at home against a Wilderness team trying to get a hold of first place. Meanwhile, currently fourth place Kenai River has to play 4 straight games against Anchorage. Interesting. Evan Trupp, the Wolverines are 26-23, 6-1, 59 points. A lot of things going on there. Evan Trupp and the Wolverines did not look good in the weekend trio of home games against Chippewa. Losing 2 out of 3 is never going to be fun. But now things are about to get really serious. The next 4 games are all against the Kenai River team that secretly may not really want to be in the playoffs. All that starts this weekend at the Bend. So why would Kenai River not want to be in the playoffs? Well, it's going to cost about $50,000 for them to go down to Minnesota or Wisconsin to play the first round. $50,000 with no real chance of recouping any of that money. So I can see NAHL telling the coach, hey, do what you can in the first game. That'll guarantee the big home date for us when the Wolverines come down to the peninsula, but you can't win. That would be epic. They really don't want Anchorage in, but they would love to help Fairbanks get in. Fairbanks is their cash cow. Always has been for years. Janesville Jets, 23-26, 5-4, 55 points. Joe Dibble and the Jets looked like serious contenders while ripping the Wilderness 6-1 at home on Friday. So what? Saturday's game did not go so well. The season finale this weekend at home against Springfield. Let's get that party started. Speaking of the Blues, 24-29, 1-2, 51 points in the cellar. The Blues gave the Wendigo a fit Saturday in Wisconsin, forcing the game into a shootout before falling 3-2. Well done. The bus cruises back to Wisconsin this week when they face the Jets. Let's get back to Rob Profit. I'm going to say this. Might cause a bit of a firestorm. Well, been done that before. if Rob Profits gives a different dynamic to the Ice Dogs, if they can pick up a sweep of Chippewa, watch out. I'm telling you right now, that's one guy you do not count out. And if Chippewa falls out of the playoff picture, and it's Anchorage and Fairbanks, that presents a whole world of problems for the Wilderness and the Wendigo. Don't be surprised. The dynamic that Prophet brings to that table, the energy he brings to the bench, the expectation he gets from players for the last 25 years is exceptional. Yes, he's grooming somebody else to eventually take his place. I get that. Yes, he's involved in Marshall. I get that. But this can be Rob Prophet's swan song of coaching. This can be his best job coaching ever. Don't be surprised if Fairbanks ends up in the Robertson Cup finals. That's how serious this is for the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. He can salvage the entire season in 2 games this weekend against Chippewa. Dive into the playoffs and watch out. He's in. We are in trouble, folks. Fairbanks with Prophet is a different hockey team than what you've seen with Dave Allison. That's it. Tommy, comments? Did you go to the group and set up comments? Did you ask him? No one wants to talk to me this morning. All right. I was kind of yapped at a little bit when I said something yesterday in the group about the new coach of the New Hampshire Mountain Kings, about why it's not good to have an inexperienced head coach at North American Hockey League, especially with a brand new team. So we'll see how that's going to work out for young Cam there. I don't believe it's going to work out very well. I think Rochester, now New Hampshire, and Danbury are all going to fight for the bottom 3 spots in the East. But that's also going to water down the level of competition in the East considerably for everybody else, like what happened this year in the East. The Generals and Maine are not as good as they thought they were, and that was because they played a lot of games against weaker opponents. Exactly what we talked about earlier in the season. I think the team that comes out of the East, like before, will not be very successful in the Robertson Cup finals, only because the level of competition. Danbury hurt that division this year. Next year, you got 3 teams like that. I'd be very surprised if any of those 3 teams wins more than a third of their games. Okay, I said that. Colorado may not win a game. Oh, they're going to win some games. But that will be a reenactment of what El Paso did in their first year. Well, really, first 2 years, right? Hasn't been much better under Joe Coombs. That's not Coombs' fault. All right, folks. I have to continue dealing with my mom stuff today. We're going to go back to Spring Hill, get more stuff, drive back here to Orlando, put her stuff in her new apartment. It's been a complete week of chaos for the Heisler family. But we hope that you enjoy your morning coffee. Thank you, Alex Curious, for my old cup. And have a great